Right here on Penn's Peak Radio. And speaking of artists and all kinds of people who join the show on a regular basis, it's the second hour of the show. It's become typical to have a great country artist, whether they're new to the industry or been around forever. And I'm very honored and pleased to have on board a gentleman, American country music artist. He's got some great hits under his belt, some chart toppers, doing some new stuff out there as well. Big fan. Mr. Richard Lynch is on board today. Hey, Richard, how you doing?
Hey, Casey, I'm doing good, and thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely. I'm glad we finally got hooked up. I know there was a little scheduling conflict there. I know you guys are always so darn busy. It's like trying to pin you guys down is tough. You're a busy man.
Well, we love it. It's fun to do this thing, and when you have a chance to get out here and meet these folks and do our music thing, it's great. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Absolutely. So let me just back up though a little bit, and just in case people are unfamiliar with who you are and where you come from and things along that line, I like always to start the interview off with a little bit of background to kind of get a little feel for who Richard Lynch is, how he got to where he is right now. I mean, it's been said that some of the older pure country music artists are people that is a dying breed, so to speak. But you're one of those people who are bringing it back and doing a fine job. But where do you get your roots from? Where do you come from? Give us a little background about who Mr. Richard Lynch is.
Well, I'm a second generation, you might say, country music entertainer. My dad, Mr. Woody Lynch, was a well-established country singer, great entertainer. I grew up in a household that always had that traditional country music being played, and I was lucky enough to be around my dad. And at the ripe old age of 8 years old, he got me up and threw me up on the stage and said, "Sing one for him." And so I was lucky enough to be bit at a young age to play this country music thing, and I love the country music more than anything. The country music bug bit me, you might say, and ever since the grand old age of 8 years old, I've been doing this thing and loving every minute of it. And I'm so thankful for the way I was raised, because we live on an old farm, and we live the country way of life, the appreciation for the way we had to work hard for different things. But I wouldn't trade that for nothing. And so the country way of life is a way for us, and the country music is just something that goes hand in hand as far as I'm concerned.
Right. Now, you also have, you're kind of, multi-talented. You've got other things going on along with your music industry. You not only are you an American farmer who has those concerns about American farming as it is today and things along that line, you also are a designer and a builder of barns. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, growing up on a farm, there was always the need for, barn repair and different things that had to be attended to. And so at a young age, my dad would, out of necessity, grab me and my brothers, and we would, help do things or either restoration or whatever, because the farm, it needed attention. And so I kind of took that way of life and put it into my own business, where I would build buildings and restore buildings, and when it came to farming, I just love the old barns. And so I have an appreciation for the old hand-hewed barns and stuff that, are starting to disappear around the countryside. So I'm fortunate that I got to learn a little bit about, the music and the building and different things to where I can make a living, because I haven't always had this success that I've had now with the music. So I've always had to make a living, whether it's farming or building some buildings or whatever it took. So it's nice that I can always fall back on that if the music gets a little thin. But right now we're riding this thing with the music, so we're not doing much barn building now.
No reason of the barns these days, huh?
No, not much.
Now you're kind of a guy who kind of goes back to the roots of country, and we're talking about the old Western swing. We're talking about the outlaw country, the hard drive and honky tonk. You write a lot of your own music. Is that something that is more powerful than performing, or is the performing more powerful than the writing and the producing of the music? Which way do you find that you tend to go towards a little bit?
Well, I love the writing aspect of something, to come up with something basically out of thin air and to put it into words and music and to see folks sing along with it. There's nothing better. But to reach that real, live, honest to goodness crowd and connect with the crowd, to me, that's the absolute joy of what I do. I mean, there's nothing better for me to hang around after a show and get to shake these people's hand and hug their neck and get to know them for a few minutes and to me that's so worthwhile. I appreciate my fans and appreciate the folks that come to our shows so much, and it really is amazing because I meet people that a lot of folks connect because they write songs and they'll send me a song every now and then and I welcome that because there's never a chance. There's not a chance that I can always do this stuff, but I'm so appreciative of people sending me those items and those songs because they think enough of me to share their little passion and their little direction that they want to do. And so yeah, everything about the music industry is a great thing for me. I love it.
Now, you're also doing some serious performing these days. How many shows a year do you end up doing?
We'll do way over 100 this year. And, it's hard to schedule in with the farm. I still have all the farming that we do and the hay and the horses and donkeys. And so, we're trying to have to shift and shuffle a little bit here to put everything in. But, the music business has just taken over for us. And I'm so thankful. And we got neighbors and brothers and stuff that can help us out with the things that we need at the farm to do get done. So it's allowed us to pursue this music thing.
Now, where's home? I don't know if I've gotten actually where home is for you.
Well, we're from the southwestern Ohio area. Anybody
okay.
Know much about Cincinnati, between just north of Cincinnati and just south of Dayton, a little town called Waynesville, Ohio.
Okay.
County. And so we, it's just something that an area there, and there's a lot of good talent in and around our area that love that traditional sound, and so we're just fortunate to get out there and do what we love to do.
Okay, well, you're actually not that far, retrospectively speaking, from where we are. So I was when you're saying far, I'm thinking, like Texas, but that's pretty amazing that you're actually from the Ohio area. I was just up there 4th of July weekend, more on the northern side, but up by the lake, and my husband and I went walleye fishing.
Nice.
Yeah.
We're currently in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan as we speak. We're doing a couple shows this weekend up here, and so we took a couple of days extra to get up here and enjoy this beautiful weather and scenery, and maybe wet a line ourselves.
Oh, there you go. Well, there you go. Hey, you know what? There's nothing wrong with killing a couple of worms. Let me tell you.
I'm with you.
So let me ask you this then. So you say you're traveling over 100 shows this year. Are they pretty much in the Ohio kind of area, or are you actually branching out more to, the west, to the Midwest? Are you coming anytime, closer to the cities and the eastern side? What's your travels like?
Well, so far we've played Texas this year, Tennessee, Iowa, Indiana, Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin. So we're getting out quite a bit. We have several things that we're booked at the Georgia State Fair. Mm-hmm. There's an amazing amount of interest out there that loving that traditional sound, and I think people are ready for that traditional sound again. Nothing against what's going on out there, but somebody that's always had an interest in country music really appreciate the fact that there's a steel guitar still being played, mm-hmm. and really appreciates the fact that there's a fiddle being played and some lyrics that they can understand.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing, and we're really fortunate that we can play the country right now.
Awesome. Well, hey, listen, if you're ever closer to the northeast or the eastern side of the state of Pennsylvania, since we're neighbors, so to speak, hey, just, let me know. We'd love to have you in the studio. As I always open the doors to Penn Speak Radio to all my artists. So it would love to have you bop in. And we have a beautiful area too. We're up in the Pocono Mountains. So,
awesome.
Really, really nice. We're on top of a mountain. So we have a really pretty view and stuff up here. So
awesome. I'd love to do that.
So if you're ever in the area, please keep me in mind and let me know. And that would be awesome for you to swing in and do a little impromptu stuff here. That would be great. Now, you say you write do you write all your music, or do you do some that gets handed to you? I know you talked about, people who hand it, but have you done some stuff from some other bigger writers in the Nashville area or anything like that, or do you write pretty much mostly of what you're performing?
Well, right now, this current album is A Better Place. It's the title of the album, and I didn't write any music on this current album.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Billy Yates pretty much wrote most of the tunes. Billy wrote. He's an accomplished, award-winning songwriter. Wrote a lot of stuff for George Jones and all kinds of artists. And Billy wrote probably 8 or so of the songs that's on this current CD, and he also produced it for me. And so, I am so thankful that, we kind of connect with those wonderful major big-time writers to where, it can really take us to the next level. But, we have our future album will reflect some of my writing. There'll be 2 or 3 songs on that one that we're going to put on. But this current CD, it's all wrote by other folks in Nashville.
And that, and that's got to be pretty, kind of like a pat in the back, pretty impressive, when these people are coming to you and they're like, this is a song that, they think that you and your band can perform and give it the definition of what they were, going for when they write it. I mean, that's got to be a little validation for you, to have those guys come to you. That must be pretty cool, huh?
When you get to that point, and the writers think enough of your music and your ability to submit music to you, hey, that's the ultimate compliment as far as I'm concerned.
Now, when you're performing, have you had the opportunity to perform or open up or work with some artists when you're out on the road, or is it strictly your show, your band, and that's it when you're out there performing, Richard?
Oh no, we work with a lot of artists. We had done a show with Mr. Wade Hayes. Wade had some great songs in the late 90s, early 2000s. We work with people like David Frizzell and Bobby Bear and a lot of the folks that are more traditional and has the traditional sound of the country music. Our music is brand new, but it's got that familiarity type of sound to it that makes you think, wow, where have I heard this before? And it's just got that traditional sound. And so therefore, we've put us in a situation where we kind of hook up with some of the older artists, and we kind of complement each other, I guess you might say.
Right. That's awesome. And let me ask you a question. Then, if you've worked with some of those greats, and by the way, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, if you think any of them would like to come on my show, I'd appreciate the little nudge for some of those.
I'll be calling them when we hang up. You guys got to call the Casey. She's great.
That'd be awesome. I mean, I've done a couple. I've had the opportunity and the honor of doing a few. Miss Tanya Tucker and Jim Ed Brown before he passed away, and John Conley and some of those guys. But they're so hard to get a hold of sometimes. So just a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge there. My new best friend, Richard. But let me ask you this. Now, there are so many, unfortunately, that we've lost over the years that are no longer with us. Is there someone out there that you're like, damn, if I had the opportunity and I would have, you got somebody out there that comes to mind if you had the chance? Oh, is there someone out there that you wish you had, woulda, coulda, shoulda managed to kind of perform with out there?
My ultimate all-time hero, and probably the one that influenced me more than anything in country music, was a guy named Conway Twitty.
Ah, nice.
I absolutely just am amazed with his vocal ability, his selection of songs that connect with ladies, but it just connects with people in general. And his delivery of his songs are nothing short of amazing. If you watch some of his live performances or his DVDs or anything that shows his absolute talent, he can control and capture your attention and just effortlessly deliver these powerful, passionate songs. What an amazing artist. I would have loved to have recorded and been on the same show with him. He's by far my all-time favorite, and somebody like Keith Whitley would have been somebody that also influenced me so much. He passed way too young, and Keith Whitley music's being played today in different places, and I just those two people really influenced me more than anything.
Yeah, I play both of them actually. I play everything from the 30s all the way up to current. So it's kind of nice when I have the opportunity to talk to some of them and I talked to Mo Bandy just recently about a month ago. I had the opportunity to chat with him a little bit, and he's another one. It's just so amazing. It's like hard to have a 10-minute conversation with them because they're so full of knowledge and so full of information.
That's exactly right. And the older artists, they have a sense of genuineness about them.
Yeah.
They're nothing, and most of them are so humble.
Yep.
And it's such an honor for me to meet these people and perform with these people, because this is what I grew up listening to these guys. I'm like, holy cow, this is great. I'm working with such and such, David, or it's an amazing thing. I'm so thankful now.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm kind of excited because I'm going to have an opportunity to speak to Bill Anderson coming up in the next couple of weeks, and I've been really wanting to talk to that gentleman as well. And I finally got the opportunity. Cross my fingers if it works out that he'll be calling into the show in the next couple of weeks too. So it's like, man, you just kind of have to bow down to some of these guys and just go, holy crap, how have you been doing it for so long? And just the sustainability of some of the artists. And you said the word that comes to mind when I think a lot of these artists, they're just so humble. Like they just are just grateful that people still want to listen, and they can go out and they say that, they're done. They hang up their guitar strings for a little bit, and then they realize people miss them. And I think that's pretty cool, that they end up.
I think you're exactly right, Casey. If you listen to their music and you get to talk to these people, and the ones that's been around for 20, 30, 40 years, and some of the music that they play will be played 20, 30, 40 years from now. So they've made their mark, and they've been lasting and long lasting for a reason, because they make people connect and then understand with people, and they connect with the music, they connect with the people. That's as good as it gets, as far as I'm concerned.
Right. Now, speaking of music, let's kind of circle back around a little bit. Now you've already done lots of music, and you've got some chart toppers and stuff out there, but you're back on the bandwagon of getting some new music out there. As we talked about, your album, A Better Place, is the new album that you have out. It's also the single that you have out, and we're gonna play that one in just a little while. We're gonna close out the show with that one and remind people that this entire show will air on a Sunday morning if they miss it. A couple other tunes, though, on the album A Better Place is a little something called She's Got Me Drinking Again. And I know you said you didn't write this song, even though sometimes the titles just make me giggle, because I'm like, man, that title goes somewhere. But tell me why it was one that you decided to take on and you put on this album.
Well, traditional country music has a wide array of diversity, from Western swing to honky-tonk and hard drive and boot scooting to just, the ballads. And I just wanted to show the diversity in this album. And this particular song is something that people just want to get up and dance and enjoy, the fact that this song gets them moving. And Mr. Billy Yates has also accompanied me on this particular song. We did this song as a duet. Mm-hmm. It's a great country song. Makes you want to get up and dance. Awesome.
Well, we're going to play that. We got to take a little bit of a break. Richard, you can hang in there for just a little bit longer?
You got it.
Awesome. We've got Richard Lynch here with his brand new album out, A Little Better Place. And just great music, good stuff, just coming back and doing some of this stuff and doing some touring and meeting his people and meeting his fans and meeting his folks. We've got more from him coming up in just a little bit, but we have to take a little break. And one of the songs off of his brand new album, A Better Place, is a little something called She's Got Me Drinking Again. You can figure out what it means to yourself. Coming up in just a minute. More with Richard Lynch right here on the Wall-to-Wall Country Show and Penn's Peak Radio. Don't go anywhere. That's right. We're playing Richard Lynch's song. A little something back there. You heard She's Got My Drinking Again. And you know what? I loved it. I absolutely loved it. You're right. It's a perfect toe tapper. It's a good one for having a bevy in your hand. And I think you should get some girls and do a dance to that one.
Sounds good.
I think that would work for you. I really think that you should do a dance video for that one and get some girls, and do a little two-step on that one. Create a nice little dance.
Sounds good. Can we get you in the video with us?
Sure. You invite me out to I'll come out. I'll be in the video. Absolutely. That would be totally fun. I have had the opportunity to be on the Joey Canyon show recently, and that was a hoot. They flew me out to Colorado, and I had a small little thing on there. Hey, I'd go in a video in a heartbeat. All you have to do is get me out there.
Oh, I love it. You know, people like Joey Canyon that's still doing the music like you mentioned. You know,
Yep.
That's great people. You know, I love surrounding myself with great people that love, the traditional music and just kind of keep this thing going.
Yeah. Well, we had the opportunity to hook up, and then he was on my show, and I did the interviewing, and then we actually had him back a second time because all my artists are always welcome back if they have something new and exciting. And we actually were the interview that we did the Wednesday before his first airing on that Friday night of the Joey Canyon show. And we really wanted to get people, pumped up about it. So he came back on the Wednesday before that Friday night when the show had its debut. And it was really, really fun. And then during the show, he's like, hey, would you be interested in coming out here and doing a little, interview spot with me? And I was like, sure. So I went out, and it just really recently aired on July 22nd. I was so excited. I was like, woohoo. I'm like, got national acclaim now. My 3 minutes of fame. I was so excited.
I love it. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
so awesome.
And he's good people too. I mean, he's got a lot of the great artists as well. You know, every week he's got, some of those folks out there that, just really just doing it up, been doing it for years. They make it look so easy. You know what I mean? They make it look really easy. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
So
it's pretty nice to be around people like yourself. You make it comfortable for your artists. They don't have to struggle. You do a wonderful job, and that's why you have the good listenership that you have, because they appreciate you. You guys are awesome. So, and we thank you guys.
No, well, hey, we appreciate it. I always say this all to my artists. If it weren't for people like you, I wouldn't have a job. Because if there was no music out there, DJs, I'm not a talk radio girl. So, if I didn't have music to play in between my talking, I'd be in trouble.
I understand.
So, of course, people need to check out your website. It's richardlynchband.com. That's where they can find your information. They've got your videos on there, your store on there. And then there's a little something on here I need to ask you about. Richard's Love Tattoo Foundation. You want to give us a little inside scoop of what that's all about?
Well, the Love Tattoo Foundation is an organization my wife and I started and founded to help produce and support our absolute wonderful men and women of the military. Mm-hmm. We wrote a song called Love Tattoo, and it came to me in the form of a poem. A gentleman, Mr. Chuck Brisbane from Virginia Beach, Virginia, sent it to my wife and said, hey, ask Richard if he'd be interested in trying to put some music to this. And so, I sat there and I put some music to it, and then I realized it needed just a little something. So another friend of mine in Nashville helped us write a chorus to it, and the words are absolutely true. Anything that we can do to help and support our military.
Right.
And people say, what's the Love Tattoo all about? And I tell them it has nothing to do with ink. Mm-hmm. These folks came back home with a bullet wound or a psychological scar, and so their love tattoo come back in a little differently than most. Their love tattoo is usually in the form of a scar,
right?
And so we want to show our admiration and appreciation to these wonderful folks that give us our freedom and give us the chance to let us play our music and enjoy our way of life. And without them, we wouldn't have any of this opportunity. And just our little way of giving back something to these wonderful folks in the military.
Well, that's pretty awesome. I mean, we here at Penn's Peak Radio also, we try to do a big event once a year. It was just last week. And this year, one of the things that we did was there is a mansion near here, the Personal Care Foundation organization, where they have donated this beautiful home. It's 20 some bedrooms and stuff, and they're raising money to actually open the doors because they need sustainable money. So they're working on getting the door open. They're hoping they're going to open the doors in the next 6 months. But what it's for is for military families, men and women who've come back and found themselves in a financially stricken situation. don't have a job, just didn't have any money, to get the people off the streets. And they're allowed to live in this home as long as it takes until they can get back on their feet, both them and their family. So we're a huge supporter of the military here at Penn Peak Radio. And just knowing that you have this foundation going on is awesome. If anyone wants to know more information about it, it's simply lovetattoofoundation.org. You can read all about it on here and find out how you can donate some money or pledge or do a pledge in the memory of someone. You guys, I would expect, do performances and do what you can to raise money for this foundation?
Often. We, as a matter of fact, portion of the show and all of the income that comes off of the single Love Tattoo goes to this foundation. And we're doing a show this weekend in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and there is a military outpost that we have kind of helped fund. It's called Whirlwind Lodge, and it's in Michigan. Mm-hmm. And any of our military, have served in any of our previous conflicts, men or women are welcome to come here for a duration to where they can get away and they can enjoy nature, and they can fish, and they can kind of be counsel with some folks that have the need to help these poor folks and it's just a place where they can get away for a week or 2 weeks and come to grips with different things, and to have this ability for our military, I feel, is something that's, you just can't put it into words how much this means. And I had the opportunity to meet some of these military folks last year, and they walk up to me and they're shaking my hand and they're thanking me, and then in my way, I'm thinking, why in the world are these heroes thanking me? This is the least that I could do. But it's so humbling to meet these people because they appreciate everything you do for them. It's just an amazing experience, and me and my wife are very proud of the fact that we, could do something to help these folks.
And that's awesome. So if you guys are interested in finding out more about this foundation or the Whirlwind Lodge, just go to lovetattoofoundation.org. You'll see all the information about it right there, and you'll be able to see some of the things that they have accomplished and how you can make a donation and stuff like that. And I just think it's awesome. I mean, I find it always amazing that, a lot of artists, I don't think in 4 years that I've been doing this, talking to people, I don't think I've ever had one single artist that doesn't have something close to their heart that they're willing to go above and beyond to help, do a show for it or whatever. No matter what the foundation is, whether it's breast cancer or animals or abused children or whatever the case may be. And I just find it amazing, and I commend each and every one of you, including yourself, to take the time to do it. You're not, and that's an important thing. Yeah, you're in it for the career, you're in it to make a life for yourself, you're in it for, the paycheck sometimes, but to know that no matter what, if you're called upon, you guys are always willing to step up and do what needs to be done to help those people who have less and those people who need more, or whatever the case may be. So I commend you and your entire foundation here. This sounds like an awesome, awesome foundation. I wish you the best of luck that it keeps going and can help as many people as possible.
Thank you, Casey. When you talk about our military folks, as far as I'm concerned, we can't do enough for them, and it's just an honor to meet these folks and to see them light up and enjoy the music. It does more for me than it does for them, and I tell them that too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's what the world needs more of. So people really need to work on things like paying back and paying it forward. I'm a true believer in all that kind of stuff. That's kind of what makes the world go around as far as I'm concerned, but that's just my personal opinion on that.
You bet.
But so let's get back to your album a little bit. And just real quick again, if you guys are interested in lovetattoofoundation.org, check it out for me. So A Better Place album coming. Now, is this actually out? People can get their hands on this?
Yeah, if you go to our website, richardlynchband.com, you can see all the various locations that you can buy our albums and merchandise and different things. And the current CD, like you mentioned, is called A Better Place. And, we have had major kudos and awards with this particular album, and it's just growing in leaps and bounds for us. We talked a little bit earlier about different diversity of country music. You made mention that we're going to play a couple, 3 songs, and, the next song that you're going to play for us, to let people to know about it, it's called Texas Front Porch Swing. You know, when you think about it, or the way I was raised up, you know, there was always that Western swing or that hard driving honky tonk or something that you don't necessarily hear much anymore. And I wanted this album to show diversity. Mm-hmm. So the next song that you play for me that people are going to hear, they're going to hear this and they're going to think of a guy named Bob Wills or somebody that had that real Texas influence. It's just a fun song. But I can't stress enough. Every song on this album is so unique and so different that, you know, it really clarifies how diverse traditional country can be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, that's awesome. I think that's what we'll do. We'll just go right ahead and play it. Now, remember, folks, this comes off A Better Place, Richard's brand new album, and it's out there. It's got 12 different tracks on it. It's all about the pure country, working with some really amazing people on this particular album. If you are a classic or that genre kind of fan of the music, step away from, you know, kind of a lot of what's out there today. This is probably a CD for you, and you can get your hands on it by going simply to his website at richardlynchband.com in the store area. Is this electronic? They can get this electronically, or is this just the hard copy, Richard?
You can get electronically. You can purchase it through a CD Baby.
Okay.
Other
Amazon, Spotify, all those guys.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Perfect. So there you go. For you who are a little bit more technical savvy than I am, I always like the hard copies because I want to put it in my car.
I'm with you.
I don't do the electronic stuff. I can't figure out how to do Facebook and Twitter at the same time, much less download music. So I'm a CD. I've moved up to CDs from 8-tracks and cassettes, and I think that's pretty good on my part. I can do a CD. I'm all about that. But if you are an electronic fan, you can get this music also electronically through the normal venues, the Spotify, the Amazon, the CD Baby, and all those kind of stuff. But we're going to play this song. This is the second album, a second song off of a Better Place CD. Hang in there for a few more minutes, Richard. I hate to hold you up, but can you hang in there for just a little bit longer?
Absolutely. I'm honored to be with you.
All right. Well, why don't you go ahead and let's announce this song. Let's announce this song, Richard. You go right ahead and I'll play it for you.
It's called Texas Front Porch Swing.
Well, we met down in San Antonio at that midnight rodeo. I knew right then that we were meant to be. She said, I prefer a front porch over this old dance floor. I took her home and she showed me that Texas front porch swing. Yeah, she knows how to rock that thing. Hey, that's what I call kicking back. I ain't never seen a swing like that. Texas front porch swing. Bob Wills on the radio makes me want to hold her close. I think love is just 2 steps away. One more dance ought to do it. Come on, heart, ain't nothing to it. You can thank your lucky lone stars every day for that Texas front porch swing. Yeah, she knows how to rock that thing. Hey, that's what I call kicking back. I ain't never seen a swing like that. Texas front porch swing. Hey, that's what I call kicking back. I ain't never seen a swing like that. Texas front porch swing. That Texas front porch swing.
There you go. A little Texas front porch swing by Mr. Richard Lynch. You know what? And I got to ask, that's a little bit of a shorty of a song, but you guys probably go all banshee on that when you're doing that live. Am I right?
Oh, it's a blast. You know, when you get to play these songs live and connect with the live audience, and then, you know, you can ad-lib a little bit, throw some extra guitar and some extra lead guitar in there. The people just really enjoy that kind of music.
I bet you that song can go all the way up to like 8 minutes if you really try hard enough.
Well, we haven't got that far yet, but there's something to shoot for.
I have no doubt. I mean, you could just feature just about every instrument you got in there. Do a little dancing on the stage as well, and get everybody toe tapping. And there's another good one that you get a little swing action going on with everybody in their cowboy boots. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Thank you, and thank you.
And that's just the taste of this album from Mr. Richard Lynch. You guys need to check this guy out. And it's really easy. Richard Lynch. Now that's LYNCHband.com. You can find out more about everything that this guy's got going on, from his music, his videos, some of the items that he has in his store, his tour, which is crazy long. I just looked at it. I'm like, my goodness, you guys are doing a lot of bouncing around. Find out about his music, where you can order a hard copy right there from the website, or you can also do it on all the media downloads, the CD Baby, the Amazon, you name it. And also, please, when you're checking out his website, check out his Love Tattoo Foundation as well. And take a good look at that, because I think that's that's a really good part of what Mr. Richard Lynch does, and supporting our military as well, and people who come back a little bit damaged from serving. So it's a great way, to kind of help him out a little bit, and I support that 1,000%. You got 12 songs on this album. You got some stuff, a big tour going on. Before I let you go, a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge of something that you've got in the works. Maybe you can't tell me all the details, but something maybe your listening audience can be looking forward to, Richard.
Well, something that we're putting together right now. We are really in the mindset of the new album to come out, and you get an album done, and then you realize, hey, you need to start thinking about this next one. And so this next one that we're going to do, I'm going to have a couple songs that I've written that's going to be on there. And I tell all the folks that's listening, people send us music and different things, and sometimes they question their own ability. I really welcome anybody that sends me items that they hear my music and they say, maybe I can connect with this guy here. So don't be scared. If there's something out there that you folks have wrote and want to share with me, by all means. You never know, it might land on our next album.
There you go. You never know. Awesome. You've got tour dates bouncing all over the place between Texas and the central states there. I think you need to put one of those little red dots over here in Pennsylvania when you get a chance, and come visit us. I want to see a little red dot over there in Pennsylvania. Got a lot of things going on. Make sure you check out this guy's website. Are you a social media kind of guy? Are you on all the social medias?
My wife and our management team, Randy Hayford from Twang Thang Music, they do all our social media. They do all our promotions and all our networking. And, when it comes to guitar strings or maybe the gear shift on a tractor, I know a little bit about those things. But everything else, I keep the aces in their places, and that's the other guys. They do that for me. Okay, awesome. But you guys are on the Facebook and the Twitter and the YouTube. You got those going on so people can connect with you that way as well? Absolutely. They have all that good high connect, high energy, get that stuff going on.
Perfect. Awesome. So you got a lot going on there, Richard. I encourage people to check out your website and see everything that you have going on, the tour, if they want to hear you guys do a live performance. I myself would love that. I think you guys put on a hell of a show from the music that I've just heard, and lots of good stuff going on. Got some new music in the docket as well. The last song is the title track of the album. It's been doing really well for you, 18 weeks straight on the Roots music charts. You want to tell me a little bit about A Better Place?
Well, you touched on it right there. Sometimes the traditional music, it comes few and far between as far as the country sound. And we got to record this song, and I was absolutely blown away with the power and passion of it. And it currently on Roots Music, it's an independent chart. It kind of charts all the success and different things of the different songs around the country. Currently, the longest running number one song was 10 weeks, and we just found out today that it just surpassed at currently at 18 weeks at number one. So I'm so thankful that folks want to hear this traditional sound and keep this traditional country music alive. And we're doing our best to keep it going. And if it wasn't for folks playing it like yourselves and different folks that requested, we wouldn't have the ability to do this. So as much as we love the music, we love the fact that we got folks like you that help us and promote us. And so thank you so much. And to all those listeners out there, thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to, to do what we love and meet these wonderful people.
Well, that's awesome. And we'll be playing that song, A Better Place, at the end of the Wall-to-Wall Country Show, which is coming up in a couple of hours. And I like to play it at the end to remind everybody, if you've missed the interview or you missed some of the other music that we've played by Richard, please listen in on a Sunday morning and you can catch the entire thing. It starts 8 a.m. Eastern Time with the interview in the second hour, 9 a.m. So, Richard, you want to do a blast to some of your fans out there on your social medias. If they missed it, they could catch it again Sunday, 8 a.m. Eastern, with the interview in the second hour, 9 a.m. Eastern. So they can check that out as well. Listen, anything else you'd like to add before I cut you loose? I really appreciate you being on the show. And as I mentioned, you're ever in our area or you got something new going on, you're more than welcome always back on the show, physically or either via phone, too. So just kind of keep that in your back pocket. I'd appreciate it. Anything else you'd like to throw out there before I cut you loose, sir?
Well, thank you very much for having me. I would like to mention that in September 10th, we have a big concert on our farm this year, and a guy by the name of Buddy Jewell will be there.
Nice.
And he's an awesome artist, a great friend of ours. He's been involved with a lot of different things that we've done. And so if anybody's in the Dayton, Cincinnati area around September 10th, come by and see us. We'd love to meet them and shake their hands and get to meet these wonderful country music artists and friends.
Nice. Well, it sounds like a fine time. Looking forward to it, indeed. And, you got a beautiful farm there from what I can see. Make sure you're keeping it country at the farm, as you say.
That's right.
And I love it. I love it a lot. Well, listen, Richard, it's been an honor and a pleasure to have you on the show. Again, you know anybody else who'd be interested in having a little chat with me, feel free to shoot them my way. I'd be glad to do that for them. You have my contact information. But good luck with everything you have going on. Good luck with your endeavors of your new album that you have coming out. Let me know when that happens. We'd be glad to have you on the show. And good luck with your Love Tattoo Foundation. Remember, you guys can find that at lovetattoofoundation.net and just .org. I'm sorry. And just, keep it real, keep it country, and man, stay in touch, dude.
Well, thank you, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Take care, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.